Hey there, fellow classic comic collectors. As always, I'm Scott Harris King, and today we're celebrating Independence Day. America! Woohoo! Yes, this weekend it's the 4th of July, and all over our nation there's celebrations commemorating America's birthday. But as exciting as these celebrations are, they pale in comparison to the birthday celebrations that took place back in 1976 when our country celebrated its 200th anniversary with the Bicentennial. So I thought for this 4th of July we'd take a look at how comics celebrated the Bicentennial with a look at two competing oversized treasury editions. It's DC's Superman Salutes the Bicentennial and Marvel's Captain America Bicentennial Battles. So, which is the coolest? Well, let me just give you the quick high level overview of this. One of these is incredibly awesome, and the other one kind of sucks. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, see, one of them's good, and the other one's crap. Which could it be? Which could be which? Well, let's just take a close look here. I'm going to give you a little bit of a hint as to which one's kind of crappy. Did you pick up on that hint? Okay, I'm not a Marvel zombie. Actually, I prefer a lot of the DC genre books. But let's take a look here at Superman Salutes the Bicentennial. First of all, great cover. It is a reprint. This is the cover of Superman 14, which has been redone, but that's fine because it's an absolutely classic image. This is $1. That's a lot of money for a kid in 1976. The Marvel one's actually $1.50. So that could be a factor in which one you would have bought, but honestly at this price point, it's most likely that you would have gotten this like as a present from your parents, saluting the Bicentennial. This is, I haven't done a page count. I should have looked this up. I don't know. It's maybe 45 pages, maybe 50 tops. So it's a good size, and of course it's absolutely huge. Open it up. We have a letter from Saul Harrison talking about Superman and his importance in American mythology, which is great. Until you get to here. First page, Superman's like, hey, I've looked at a lot of stuff in space and time, and it's really fascinating are the patriots that created America. So let's talk about them. And then the rest of the fricking book is Tomahawk reprints. Now look, I like Tomahawk. I think it's cool. So Superman's just like, hey kids, I know you wanted to read a Superman story, but what if we gave you some Tomahawk reprints? And he just appears in the framing sequences, and the whole freaking thing is Tomahawk reprints. There's one section in the middle that's actually not even from Tomahawk. It's from the Tomahawk artist, and it's just like the story of Valley Forge, and this is pretty cool. This part I like. It's neat. The art's cool. This is the 2-page splash in the middle. So this is cool. You'll notice one person missing from all of this, though, and that's Superman. Here he is again. He's like, hey, kids, I know you're enjoying these adventures of Tomahawk. How about some more adventures of Tomahawk? To me, this is just like such a blatant bait and switch. It's absolutely crazy that they did this. Imagine being a kid and dropping $1 of your hard-earned money, at a time when comics were like 25 cents, right? So this is the equivalent of 4 comics. You get this, you're so excited to buy that awesome Superman cover, and you open it up, and it's Tomahawk. Here's the back cover. It's kind of cool. It's a gallery of all the presidents. Let me try and zoom out so you see them all. Ending with Gerald Ford, who's still president in 76. This doesn't look anything like Richard Nixon to me. It's like a cross between Nixon and Walter Matthau. The other ones are better. They're pretty good. But anyway, there's DC's offering. So this is what you would have gotten for $1. Superman, saluting the Bicentennial. And by Superman, we mean Tomahawk. Great cover. This makes a great poster. It's nice to lean up against your wall or something. In terms of actually reading it, again, if you're a fan of Tomahawk, and I like Tomahawk, it's cool, but it's absolutely not even close to what they're advertising. And then there's Marvels. All right, so as I mentioned, you can see here the Marvel treasury is $1.50 instead of $1. So it's significantly more. But you get way more. First of all, the comic is over 80 pages. And when I say 80 pages, it's all Jack Kirby. It's all original. It's one story. It's one giant 80-page epic where Captain America is traveling through time and experiencing America in different time periods. We open it up. I'm telling you what. First of all, check out the table of contents. What an awesome Kirby drawing that is, right? And then you get Captain America meets this guy named Mr. Buddha. Page quality on mine is kind of bad. It's like pretty toasty, but you have this story where Mr. Buddha sends Captain America through time, and he sees Bucky again, and blah blah blah. But he goes to all these time periods, and you get these giant double-page spreads. This is like an excuse for Kirby to just go absolutely crazy in giant size. Here's Captain America hailing a cab back in like the 40s. He's like lost in time. And then he ends up somehow in like 1776. He gets out of the cab and he meets Ben Franklin. And there's a lot of stuff like this where Captain America goes crazy because he realizes he's like messing up the time stream and this is all crazy. Here's Kirby doing gangsters, which he loves to do. A section with Native Americans. Huge Kirby splash. We're all Americans! Oh my gosh. And there's just so much cool stuff here. It's just page after page after page of Kirby. Oh man, it's just so cool. And Kirby Crackle. Oh look, there's like the A-bombs going off. We've got like the war. He ends up here he is fighting a shark under the ocean. This is on page 59 out of 80. And look at this. Captain America goes to the future. Check that out. It's Captain America, astronaut. There's like Kirby-esque machines. Oh, there's so much cool stuff. He ends up in a movie set, and there's some awesome spreads here. Hold on. Pages are sticking together. He ends up in the middle of this musical, and then look at this full page spread in the middle of a movie musical. He's freaking out again. Oh, it's page after page, and then at the end, after the story ends, right? The end of the story on pages 78 and 79 is this 2-page spread with him and all the children of America, all the different races, and he's like, the future of America is bright, whatever. And then we get Kirby's versions of different Captain Americas. Here's a full page splash, and by full page I mean it's huge. Look at it's Captain America's bigger than my hand. Here he is, Colonial Captain America, Old West Captain America, and then there's Future Astronaut Captain America. We got a Steve Rogers thing, and then check out the back cover. Captain America and Uncle Sam celebrating. My copy's got some paper loss here. This is a pretty beat up copy. Oh man, check that out. 80 plus pages of all original, all Jack Kirby, incredible. And when you look at this compared to that DC one, yes, it's 50 cents more, so it's half again as much because the other one's only $1. But this is like 30 times cooler. The only thing the other one really has going for it is the awesome cover, which is a reprint. But this has an awesome cover and an awesome back cover, and then everything in the middle is awesome. So, I mean, if you ever wonder why Marvel took over for DC and why Marvel Zombies exist and why there's so many people that just love Marvel compared to DC, it's stuff like this. DC, man, just don't understand what they were thinking at certain times in the past, and the Bicentennial is one of those times. Now, that's the main portion of what I wanted to show you, but I do also have here something else that Marvel put out for the Bicentennial. It's Marvel's 1976 Bicentennial calendar. Marvel and DC both were putting out calendars in the 70s. Marvel was much more successful. They started putting out their calendars in 1975, and they put out a calendar every year until 1981. DC only did calendars in 76 and 77, I think. I think that's right. And I do have the DC 1976 calendar, but I had it hanging on my wall, and the nail came out, and the calendar fell behind my desk, which weighs like 400 pounds. So it's stuck behind the desk. Otherwise, I'd compare them. Let's just say that once again, Marvel absolutely demolishes DC. The DC one's cool. You know, it's got some cool pictures, but Marvel just really goes out of their way. It's so great. This is the first calendar I got because it's so cool. The art in these calendars is awesome because there's these big pinup images by all of Marvel's best artists from the time period. And they're images that haven't really been reproduced anywhere else. So you can only see them if you have the calendar or if you go online, because people have scanned these calendars in so everyone can enjoy them. This is the theme of the calendar. It basically takes the Marvel superheroes and places them in the Revolutionary War. So there's some really hilarious images in here. So here we have a little thing from Stan Lee, the year at a glance, 1976. And then we have the invaders on one of the Continental Navy's ships. That's January. For February, we have Hulk at Valley Forge. March, we've got the Black Panther leading a group of Marines in a beach assault. Here we have April. It's Conan leading the army in a charge over the wall. Gil Kane, clearly Gil Kane. I love Gil Kane, and this is something you're not going to see very many other places. Gil Kane drawing Conan in the Revolutionary War. Here we have May. It's Thor, and he's helping Benjamin Franklin with his kite experiment. June, again, we've got Spider-Man. This time, the good guys are defending a fort, I think. This is maybe my favorite. It's an awesome Captain America with the Declaration of Independence. It's so good. Fantastic Four helping the army cross a river. Is it the Delaware? I'm not sure because we have a Delaware one coming up later. Here's just a random assortment of goofy Marvel characters by Sal Buscema in front of the flag. I guess they just couldn't figure out what to do with these guys, so like put them all there. Here's Frank Brunner, and he's got Marvel's horror characters with Ichabod Crane. Time period's a little bit off here, but that's cool. We got Jim Starlin doing the cosmic characters overlooking one of the American ships. It's November. And as promised, for December, Crowning Glory. It's the Avengers helping Washington cross the Delaware. How cool is that? Right? How awesome is that? And then some stuff, and then the back cover is this cool picture of all the Marvel characters in this bicentennial eagle. So there you have it. As I think we can all see that when it came to celebrating the bicentennial, Marvel kind of completely destroyed DC. Their calendar was significantly cooler than the DC calendar. You'll just have to take my word for that one, but trust me, it is. Their Treasury edition was so much better than the DC version. I do want to mention that DC had one cool thing in the bicentennial that Marvel didn't have, and that is these here. They did this line of issues. Everything that was cover dated July. This actually says August, but I think it's because it's bi-monthly. The July, August issues of their line had this DC Comics salutes the bicentennial with a number here. I think there was 34 or 35 of these in the line. Is basically the idea was, collect the whole run of all the bicentennial issues. It's kind of a cool subset for people. I know there are a few people that actually specifically put collections together of the bicentennial. The only problem is that DC's designs at that time were so cluttered already because they had this bar with all the text that it just added another bar with even more text cluttering it. So, just take a look at this. Otherwise, this is a cover that haunted me as a child. But imagine how much better this cover would be if, say, the top third of the book wasn't just tons of, text. So it was a good idea. Again, typically, cluttered and muddled in execution for DC at this time. But it is kind of a cool thing they did. Otherwise, you gotta say, Marvel just sort of crushed DC on the bicentennial stuff. So I highly recommend anyone that's interested in this stuff to go out and get the Marvel's Captain America's Bicentennial Battles. Totally worth it. Absolutely fantastic. The DC one, well, if you can get it cheap, it does look cool in a frame, I guess, or just to look at the front cover. Otherwise, if you're a big fan of Tomahawk, I guess, just go into it knowing that it's Tomahawk and not Superman. And that way, you're much less likely to be disappointed. So that's it for this time. Hooray, America. Go USA and celebrate America's birthday safely and all that. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I've got a subscribe button. I've got some other videos here. And I'll see you next time.